To moderate these panel sessions, another beautiful, intelligent, amazing woman. When it comes to the world of tech in Africa, this woman tops this list. A round of applause for Olajumoke Awonore as she comes on stage to moderate this panel session. I call her small but mighty. A round of applause for Jumoke as she'll be driving the conversation on this panel session. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm particularly excited about this panel, reason being that ThinkUX was born as a result of a community. So yesterday we'll be discussing why community and mentorship is very, very key. I know it looks like it's formal, but this time around I'm going to have to shift the goalpost a bit. We've been talking about design. I am a product manager and a tech sales specialist. I technically help people transition into tech. And yes, design is great. But there are other sides of tech. And if you look into this room, we cannot assume that everybody is a product designer. But one thing you cannot take away is the fact that everyone needs a community to thrive. And everyone, at one point or the other in their career, met a mentor, even though they might not have called the person mentor, but have learned from one person ahead of them. And I tell people this, please, if you are in this room, I like to say this often. It is easy to fly further on the feather of a father. What does this mean? You moving at a very fast pace because you choose to look out for someone that has done it before you and you follow the person's footsteps. You will move faster with less mistake, which is why we brought these amazing people to talk to you about mentorship and leadership. But before we go into the business of the day, the man amongst women, I will shoot at you first. Hi, Toby. How are you doing today?
Yeah. Okay. So if I think community and mentorship is relevant, okay. So the big answer is yes. The emphatic answer is yes, and this is why mentorship is important. What took someone 3 years to learn, the person can consolidate it all and you can learn it in 3 months, right? You can achieve someone's 5 year result in 5 months. Now, simply because, now, if you notice, a lot of self taught designers, it took a while before they got to a certain level. But when they mentor people, it takes those people shorter time. Because when you learn yourself, you make mistakes, you learn from the mistakes. Sometimes you don't know it's a mistake until it has taken a while. But if you're somebody who appraises yourself, if you're somebody who look back.
Hello. So if you're someone who looks back in retrospect, you see where you made mistakes and correct on them. But when you are teaching someone, mentoring someone, you'll allow the person know the mistakes ahead of time and avoid them. So pitfalls will be avoided, mistakes will be avoided, and the learning curve will be shortened because you are learning from somebody who has walked the path and has traveled the journey. A very good example is if you come to Lagos on your own, and at the time where there was no taxi hailing service, it was just the yellow and black taxi that we have. At that time, it will take you
More time to get to your destination. Because this is your first time in Lagos, you don't know where you're going to, you don't know what buses to enter, you start asking for directions. And we know Lagos people now, 5 people can give you 5 different directions. Something happened yesterday. Someone was coming to this venue yesterday, and when we called the person, she was amushing. What happened? People gave her different directions. So, but if somebody is in Lagos and has stayed in Lagos and asking people for directions, you will travel like somebody who knows the road. Because the person will tell you what to do, where to travel, how long it's going to take to travel. So the benefit of mentorship and community is, number one, it shortens the learning curve. Number two, it helps you achieve results faster. And number three, it helps to avoid pitfalls ahead of time.
Thank you so much. I just wanted you to reiterate, like you said, a mentor has done it, made the mistake, and it gives you an opportunity to walk through that path without any mistake. To the tech baby herself, hi Ojolakwe, how are you doing today? Okay, I'll just amplify. I mean, your voice matters here, so I'll amplify from here. Okay, I mean, you, I know we talked about the health testing, testing, even down to agriculture. And then we talked about user interface, user experience. It's beautiful to see a design, but the
Yeah.
experience is where it matters. So do you
Honestly,
think user experience contributes to fixing certain challenges in the healthcare space and the agricultural space and also the
yes, it does. In every way. So I'm going to talk about the healthcare system because it's a system that I'm very, very interested in. And we all visit hospitals, right? And I see the day-to-day challenges people go through, especially the government hospitals, whereby you might get there and there is no bed space or there is no specialist to reach out to you. So I want designers to think about like these people, these patients, doctors, and like the health workers as like normal people like them. So you need to be able to like approach your design thinking as like you are also a patient, a doctor, and a health worker. What are the challenges they are facing? How can you solve these challenges? How can you communicate? So if there is no doctor on seat, how can you communicate to the patient that there is no particular specialist on seat? So it also has to do with every other industries too, like the agriculture you spoke about. What are the challenges that are facing there? And as a designer, you need to be able to think or empathy. This is where empathy. I know everybody like use the word empathy, but it's as simple as like you thinking about these people as like yourself. It's something you go through every day. When I was starting my career, I actually did a survey on BRT. Where I was working first was at Ikeja, so I take BRT every day, and I just realized that I can't be waiting till 10 p.m. for buses. So I just carried out a survey, like a very casual survey. I started speaking with other people to share their experience. I put that together and I created a case study, right? And I didn't even know the case study was going to blow up, that it got published on newspaper, and I was able to get my big job from there. So it helps you as a designer to grow, and it also helps you to see the challenges people are facing. So it's very, very necessary to like go through those design thinking when you are creating products, regardless of the industry you are in. Yeah. Thank you.
everybody is dinner. Hi, dinner. Good afternoon.
I
You look beautiful.
thank you.
I mean, over to you. What would you say is the role of mentorship in the ecosystem? Most especially for who are just coming up, especially to the design phase. But while talking about it, I also want you to spread across other tech industry, design, product managers. What's that key role that mentorship plays in building an ecosystem?
Thank you so much. Okay, so mentorship actually helps us protect knowledge. For young designers that are just starting out, if you have a mentor, it helps you avoid mistakes, helps you avoid errors and different things. It's just like this saying that says, follow no road. When the blind is leading the blind, you would not get to that place very fast. But if you follow no road, the place that is supposed to take you maybe 10 years would literally take you maybe 2 years, just like what Mr. Toby said the other time. So mentorship helps us protect knowledge, and that way we are able to build the ecosystem stronger. So I founded a community, a design and grow community, and because of the value that people get from this community, because they see that when they join the community, they grow. In the space of 1 year, we've been able to grow our Instagram page to almost 4,000 followers, and we are not following anybody. So that way, the ecosystem becomes stronger. When people see that, okay, they are getting value from this thing, they are growing, they would automatically want to be a part of that thing. So mentorship is very, very important. And as much as we preach mentorship and we say, oh, get a mentor, do this, there's one error I see people do. Everybody online, especially on Facebook, I use Facebook a lot, I don't know why. Everybody online is a mentor. Everybody online is a coach at this point. Once they start designing and they know one thing or the other, the next moment they are selling mentorship course or all those things. So as much as mentorship helps us protect our knowledge, it is very important to choose the right mentor. Like I said, if you follow the blind, you become blind. Imagine a blind man leading you and walking you on the road. Please, where are you going to? Somebody is blind and you're also blind and the person is leading you. You go astray. You fall inside the hole. So mentorship is important, but as well, please choose the right mentor. And when you choose the right mentor, you would avoid so much errors. You would get to where you're supposed to go to faster, and you get a lot of other stuff. I started designing in 2022, so it's 3 years down the line. And I hear some people say, "Oh, Tina, how come in 3 years you've gotten this, you've gotten that?" I'm not where I want to be yet, by the way, but I believe I've grown so much. There are some people that have been designing years before me, and maybe they're not where I am now. And the thing that helped me is the fact that I chose the right mentor. I follow the person that I know that, okay, this person is going the kind of way I want to go. I'm not following them online saying, "Oh, it is impossible for a brand designer to charge ₦1 million or do this or do that." No, 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 no. I'm following that person that is saying that it is possible. So that way, I'm seeing the good things in that. I'm avoiding the mistakes that people make. And that's why it's easier for me in the space of 2 years or 3 years to be where I am today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina. I mean, if you hear that correctly, back to the adage that I said earlier, that you should fly further on the feather of a father. Before you call someone a father, it's not by age, it's not by time. There are qualities to look out for, which brings me back to what you said. There are some certain qualities you need to look out for in people when you are selecting mentors. Not everybody that calls themselves mentors actually carry what it takes. Look out for your vision. What this person has achieved. Do you align? Does it look like where you want to be? Does it look like the future you see for yourself? Does it look like they've been consistent in the past couple of years? Consistency is very key. Someone who is not consistent in a role cannot deliver value to you to help you get better. I would say it anywhere. And someone that is chasing mentorship for, I want to make money, pay 50. Sorry to whoever is charging for their mentorship. I know sometimes you also need to charge to get people who are serious. But at the same time, people that push the narrative of the figures rather than the value they want to give to you most likely don't have a value to give to you. I'm sorry to say it, but that's just what it looks like. So coming to the beautiful woman right on my right side, Jane. So coming back to this conversation around community and mentorship, what would you say is one key role that communities would contribute to social impact? I mean, I get that part that we all want to contribute to people, but across at large, what would you think community would contribute as value in social impact? I don't know if you get my question.
Okay. When it comes to what communities will contribute to social impact, I think like community in its sense would just be like a group of active people, right? I think like PT is something that is super important. I mean, without activity, there's no community. So if a community is active, contributing to social impact becomes very easy. And one thing that I always like to talk about is understanding cultural context, right? If a community does not, I mean, like there are some communities that I've joined and I was not able to flow through the community. So, because most of the time I feel like it's not the right place for me, or they don't understand my situation right now. And there are so many people you see that are inactive in a community. And most of the time, I think this is because they feel the same way. This is not for me, and this is not right for me. So that community being able to, what's the question again? Social impact. Being able to, yes. Now, being able to contribute to that social impact, they have to be active, and they have to understand the situation and context of the members of the community. Not just what you think in your head that is the vision you want to contribute to the community, but the situation where the members of the community are exactly in. So you meet them exactly where they are at that moment.
Just a follow-up question to that.
Okay.
The fact that you have touched base with the fact that it's not what you as a mentor just have at the top of your head.
Mm-hmm.
You need to consider people that join your community, what value they are looking to get from it. Just a follow-up question. What are some of the strategies to ensure that design innovation actually leads to long-term social impact? I mean, you're already there. Don't want to content now.
Okay. Say that again.
What are some of the strategies to ensure that design innovation leads to long-term social impact?
Okay. Design innovations. So there is something that I like to think about when I want to design products. I look at what people are already doing. What is wrong with that thing that they are already doing? I'll use project management, for example. I mean, most of us use project management tools, and the first few times you use a project management tool, you don't understand your way around. There are so many things involved in a project management tool, and you can't just start learning a tool just because you want to work on a project like right now. So if you understand as a designer, this is the problem with this tool, with this particular context, okay, and then you'll be able to fix it, right? So most of the time, I see designers making just one mistake, redesigning a product just because they want to get a job without understanding the context, what's happened that made these people build this product this way. So when you think about that, I think one of the speakers mentioned this earlier. You have to think about that context. Why is this existing the way it is? And when you understand why it's existing the way it is, you understand the problem around that particular context, you'll be able to understand how to come up with innovations, design innovations, like you said, to solve that particular problem. Without understanding the base, you will not be able to get that innovation. And most of innovations come from how creative you can be, solving, revolving around a particular problem. I don't know if that answers your question. Awesome.
I hope you are getting value for our time. I'm coming back to you, Toby. I mean, okay. I like the fact that you work with a company outside of Nigeria, so you can give a broader perspective to design in the US, for example. So my question to you would be, how can we build a sustainable ecosystem that supports design startups in Africa? Why I'm asking this question is, if you look across this room, yes, some people are senior product designers, but they are already building their own thing. How can they then get enough support, especially with the fact that they are in Africa? What would you think?
Okay, so building a sustainable ecosystem. So the first thing, now, one of the things that would first off encourage founders, encourage startup founders, one of the things that encourage them is funding. Second thing that will encourage them is a support system. And the third thing that encourage them is market access. Now, we have a lot of, people have ideas, right? And so people do not have funds to push the idea. Yes, they start solo. Because currently I'm building a product solo, right? So they start solo, when the product, like when it's time to scale the product and they need funding to at least access the market, when the fund is not there, yes, you can bootstrap and the rest of them, but because of this lack of access to funding, because the company I work for, we have a couple of investors that work with our product owner, and it's because from the story he told us, he shared the idea with them, shared the feature of the idea with them, and they were available to provide funding. Okay, so this idea you have, we're going to give level of funds, this certain time, we're going to see the result, we're going to get some ROI, but a lot of Nigerian startup founders do not have this access to funding. Right? So now that's the first thing that needs to be there for the ecosystem to even thrive. The next thing is support systems. Support systems. How many really functioning tech hubs do we really have in Nigeria? How many tech activations do we have? How many organizations are setting up systems where people can come with their ideas, collaborate on an idea, and develop a product? That is also, it leaves people developing idea in silos. And if we develop ideas in silos, we'll have a lot of similar ideas. And aside from having similar ideas, we'll have some ideas that would either die in Figma or die in the head, or maybe someone cannot even get trapped with somebody who comes and, okay, I have the funds, I'm going to fund this dream. And because I'm funding this dream, I have this certain number of rights over it. And it takes your rights over the product. And the person now, because the person has the funding, the person has a lot of, because of the funding, the person exercises a lot of rights over it. And the person now begins to fashion the product after what he wants or what she wants, not what you want. So support system is very, very important. When I know there's a tech up, I can go share my idea, and people can, there's a platform to collaborate. So that can really encourage. The third one is market access. So now, okay, I've got the funding. I have a tech hub that is helping me, push my idea with people I'm collaborating with. Now, how much access do I have to the market? It is even easier when it's, fintech has really helped us broken into the financial market. But let's look at things like the healthcare sector. Let's look at things like agriculture. Let's look at things like education. These are sectors that have really not been broken into. Yeah, education is, we have a lot of good fintech startups good in education. But agriculture, healthcare, and the rest of them, these are markets that haven't been broken into yet. So when there's market access, it is easier to take my product to the market and at least get first-hand feedback from some level of users, because my product is in the market, in the hands of people who want to use it. So I get feedback on how to proceed, either scale my MVP or refine my MVP to be able to serve them. So when these three are in place, it will really make the ecosystem thrive. Because in Nigeria, people are already together. People are already united. But these three things are lacking, so it's in a way dividing people and making people start to work in silos.
Thank you so much, Toby. Please, a round of applause for Toby. Hi, Ojola. I'm back to you. What role do you think user experience design play in improving financial inclusion across Africa?
It plays a lot of roles, like you said, across Africa. So it's not only Nigeria. So as a designer, you need to think about the I don't want to say the circumstance, but the condition, like the country. Is it a I don't want to say underdeveloped, but is it an underdeveloped country? What are the things they can access to? So do they have like maybe internet issues? Maybe the internet is not stable or something like that. What are the innovation you can come, design thinking or ideas you can put in place in your products that will make it easy for those set of people to like use your product easily? I like what Rookie said about OPay, and I think it's something when the no cash or low cash issue happened, whereby people start migrating to PalmPay, OPay, and rest. And it was because the bank network or the network then was like jamming all together and people wanted to make transfer. But those applications, PalmPay and OPay, was able to deliver those things. That's why they were able to scale on a big level. So imagine you able to create something whereby maybe in that underdeveloped country, you are using USSD instead of entering into the app where there is no data. Something that can work easily for them, or whereby maybe another country where they're not too tech savvy or they don't know much things about like the copy you use, right? Do you want to use something easy? Maybe it's broken you want to use, or you want to use Yoruba. So those are the things that would help you break into even those countries, because you think about them. You are not just building one product only for everybody, because what will work with Nigeria might not work in Ghana or Kenya or South Africa. So you need to put all those things, make research and understand how those different markets work across Africa, and then I'm sure you break through.
Thank you so much for that. Very insight. I'm coming back to you, Tina. I think one very big challenge that I have identified in the course of talking to people, especially people that own communities or young people who are just starting out, there are two different ends of the spectrum now. There is that conversation around caucus going on in communities and mentorship, that people have their own set of people. They don't want to share their thoughts outside their own community. Which then brings me to my next question. How can we create room and access in the place of leadership? Nobody is doubting the fact that there is hierarchy in this thing, so that we don't bring ourselves to the place of disrespect and then we lack value and respect towards people that have done this before. But how then can we create a safe space, even in the course of leadership, to give people access to come learn from mentors?
Thank you. So I think we can do that by building, when we allow more people actually share opinions. So when we have a community whereby we are not just centering on one viewpoint, it's not just one person that is saying, oh, let's do this, let's do that. We allow people share their opinions. We give room for, okay, you guys say this, say that. That way everybody will feel relevant. They'll feel included in this thing. Once again, I'm going to use my community as an example. So in my community, even though I'm the leader, I don't just come and say, oh, we have a design review today. Everybody be available so time. Sometimes I'm very, very busy. I would run a poll. I would go by the majority of the votes. That way everybody feel included. They don't feel like, oh, some certain people are doing this, or because she's the leader, she's doing this and that. So when everybody feel included, that way everybody will feel relevant, and we'll be able to include everybody in the decision making. So we can stop that automatically by allowing many more voices in decision making. And especially in a country like Africa, where we have different people, we have people from different diverse culture and everything. So we make sure that we have diverse teams as well. We don't just have maybe the admins, we have just Yorubas. People start thinking, oh, maybe it's a Yoruba group. So we have diverse teams. We let people feel involved in decision making, and also we give hope and we give access to people that they don't usually talk, people that feel like they are unseen. You give them access to talk, you give them access to share their opinions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. But quickly, let me flip the script, because it's very easy to say the leadership are not allowing you to contribute. But the truth is, if you are here today and you belong to a community, do well to contribute. Please, don't just attend sessions, stay in silos. You are not asking questions, but you are going back home to judge somebody that just spent 40 minutes of their life contributing to yours, to say, she's too arrogant. She just speaks from her own perspective. The truth is, did you even ask her any question for her to know where you are coming from and what help you need? So please, if you ever find yourself in a community, the best way to maximize a community is when you speak up. Let people know your concern. Be known, so that the days when you need help, people are happy to rally around you. I think that's another challenge people face. If you don't contribute, they don't know you exist. They don't know you're a part of the community, and you come out of nowhere. Hi guys, I'm designing this thing and it looks like I'm stuck. People draw back a bit. But if they've ever felt your energy in that community, people will respond back with the same energy you have been putting in the community. I just thought to mention that. I'm coming back to you, Jane. I just want you to quickly tell us, we all know that the country is not smiling. Economy across the world is not smiling. How can we make good quality designs still accessible and affordable? I know designers are about to fight you, because they will tell me you have to stay on spot.
Okay, yes. I wanted to really answer this question because, okay, let me start from the aspect of businesses. Most businesses have business models that allow freemium to actually exist. So users try out something first before they see how it is. Like, I mean, when you use ChatGPT, there is a free version, there is a paid version. If you use the free version, you're limited. If you use the paid version, you have more things. So when I see designers, you know, I'm very active on LinkedIn. So when I see them talking about, a founder reached out to me and the founder wanted to pay me in equity and experience. And then they're like, I can't do that. I need money. Yes, you need money, but you also need to have that freemium for the people, because if you're targeting a startup, you have to understand their situation, right? Startups don't have money to pay you. And so if you want someone that will pay you $5,000 to just cook up a UI, you can't target a startup. If you target a startup, they'll give you equity. You need to have something. You need to understand. Understanding context. I feel like everything is about understanding context of the people who are reaching out to you. If you understand how much they can pay you, you understand how much value you can actually provide to them that would make that value you're providing equal to the amount they are paying you, and make them see value in what you're actually giving them, it will be easier to convert them and actually pay you. But making it affordable, I'm coming to accessible. What you can actually give out for free. Sometimes we can do free UX audits. You can just quickly look at someone's website and say, okay, this is where I'm seeing issues and this is what you can actually do. And then you can tell them, if you want someone to now do it for you, I can come in and do it for you. But this is, you've already given out value for free. When I say give out value for free, I don't mean go and design their entire website just to prove, because it takes a lot of time to do that kind of design. You need to just think about yourself. What can you give out for free? Businesses do freemium. You as a service provider, you should be able to do freemium. About accessibility, understanding context again. There is an app I'm working on right now, and one of the things that I discovered during research is that most people who face the problem that we're solving, one of the major things that they face that could be a barrier to that product is low data and the fact that there is no strong data, if you have this kind of context, what can you do within your product that would meet them exactly where they are? Are you going to build an app that is lightweight, or are you going to do a lot of animations because you want to prove that you're a very good designer? Or are you going to think about how easy is it going to be to actually develop this thing so that users, when they use it, they don't need to have, they don't need so much data to actually get this. The app can work offline. It's lightweight. It doesn't take up a lot of storage because people are complaining about the storage on their phones and all of those things. If you do the research and understand the people you're building for, I like what Rukaya said, that she mentioned something. She likes dark screen. She likes dark mode because of her eyes. I can't use dark mode because of my eyes. The same eye problem, but different kind of eye problem. If you don't have that kind of context, it's very difficult to understand who you're designing for, what situation they are exactly in, and how you can meet them where they are. That is what you need to actually build a product that will be affordable and accessible for the people you're building it with or for. Thank you.
I believe it's been a very good use of your time. Our time is fast spent, but I want to give just one person from the audience to ask a question. Anybody, just one person. Let's take one question from the audience before we call it a day. Anyone with a question, please just wave or just come towards the front. Do we have anyone with any question? Is someone waving at me? Please, if you're waving at me, just come forward, please. Quickly, your question in 30 seconds. Your question in 30 seconds. Thank you.
So I want to use this opportunity to ask this question. I had the question from the beginning. So it's quite different from this. So I started UI UX design with just UI. I missed the step of UX growing. Yeah. So I started with UI just because I'm someone that loved colors growing up. So I started with UI and I missed that US. So my question is, how now I have gigs, but the project I handle, I need more of UX. So, and sometimes on my own, I'll just be like, I just feel like I want to drop all these gigs, drop all these things I'm doing because I know there's still more I need to deliver. There's still more I can offer. So my question is, how can I maximize? How can I be able to still catch up? Yes, on what I've missed out with, how far I have gone into UI UX on the UX aspect.
Thank you very much. Toby, I was Toby.
So to answer that question, now the first thing I'm going to say is, I know for foreign companies, for very large companies, they split the role of UI and UX. But personally, ideally, I don't think that split needs to be, because you can't do UI without UX. Because now, what is the point of designing a very beautiful chair, very aesthetic, but you can't sit on it? So it makes your design a failed design, even though it's beautiful. You get my point? So no, there was a time I was looking at what used to be apps before it was coming. Now, if you used ATM machines in 2005, 2006, as at the time, beauty was zero, but was functional. Then machines used to dispense 59 and the rest of them, right? But right now, you now have banks, like they now make it, they have some animations on the screen and all that. Then now to the breadth of mobile apps. So imagine you have a mobile app, very beautiful, nice buttons, everything is where it is. But for you to be able to do what you need to do is very stressful. You would overlook that beauty and get angry at the product, even though it's beautiful. So UI and UX, I don't see a difference between them, right? Because beauty without brains is just cosmetic foolishness. You get my point? So when you are designing what you call the UI, the UX is what makes people to be able to appreciate the beauty. Right? There was a time when, okay, I will not call this product. There was a time when there's a certain banking app. People didn't like using the app. The app was functional. No, the app was beautiful, but wasn't really, it's a banking app, but wasn't functional, but was beautiful. There were complaints online. The bank had to do a rebrand. You get? Now that was because beauty is long forgotten when experience is horrible. So my advice to you is look at UI and UX, look at them in the same vein, right? This screen I'm designing, as beautiful as it is, what does it do? So rather than saying, I've done the UI, let me go to the UX. So as I'm designing, as I'm adding the colors, as I'm going from the low 5 to the mid 5 to the high 5, as I'm everything, what is it? Is this screen doing what it is meant to do? Think of it in that same line. Do not separate the thinking that, okay, I've done the UI, now let me go to the UX. The UI and UX are done at the same time. You get?
Thank you so much. Okay, quickly.
I wanted to just pitch into what he said. You are at the best position right now because you have live products that you're actually working with. So you understand, if they have data that you would look at that data, right? When you take those data, meet someone who talks about UX a lot. I mean, it's not every designer that focuses on UX. There are people who focus on both UX and UI. There's people who focus on just the UI. Meet those who are very conversant with UX. When I say very, I mean there are gaps, okay? People who are very conversant with the UX, meet them, ask them, how do I turn this data into design? It's where you can start with your AI. If you go to ChatGPT right now and say, I have this data, I want to design this. How can I go? I don't understand you. I'm saying it because you're in a position where you can't afford to take the time to learn UX, right? So if you go to ChatGPT right now, I do a lot of things apart from design, right? And when I want to go into something that I'm new at, I quickly go to ChatGPT, ask it, give me a module or a learning path. So I know that, okay, after this, I'm learning this. After this, I'm learning this. After this, I'm learning this. Then I can begin to search for YouTube videos that can quickly give me answers to what I need. Search on the internet. There are plenty blogs about these kind of things. So understand how you go from data, even if you don't want to go into the research aspect yourself. Understand how to actually use the data that you're looking at to go from, this is the data, this is how I can break this data down so that I understand what it means for my design. And then I can go from what that means for my design into how I can design it so that the person I'm designing it for, your user persona, can use the app and feel like this was made for me.
Thank you so much. My panelists, our time is fast spent, but I like to do this at the end of every panel session that I'm opportune to moderate. In 30 seconds, look across this room. What's that one word that you leave a designer with in 30 seconds before you leave?
Keep designing, and I'm always out here rooting for you.
Okay, so in 30 seconds, everything in life is designed. Life starts with design and ends by design. So when you look at everything, see a design in everything, and you see what to do and how you can move from there.
Get a mentor. Get a mentor. Get a mentor. Get a mentor. I could say that for 30 seconds. And it doesn't have to be a mentor that is looking at you. My mentor was Xander Whitehurst, among many others. Anything he puts out, I design. That was how I was able to go from design, zero knowledge of colors, to where I am right now.
I'll say what worked for me. Document your process. Document everything. Post online. When you document everything, you already have your portfolio. When you document everything on social media and they see your work, at some point they won't ask you for your portfolio. I'm giving you things that you pay for. When you post online, you document everything. At some point, clients won't ask you for your portfolio. They'll just ask you, what's your rate? So keep documenting.
Thank you so much. Please, a round of applause for our panelists. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for our panelists. A better round of applause for them.